What, 2,200 horsepower?
Yeah, somewhere in 2,500 horsepower, which is about what the original engines had. So the airplanes, we decided to quit flying them with the original engines because they just weren't robust. What's happening now is the pilot's bringing the engines up and stabilize the power somewhere around 30 inches and release the brakes. The pilot has his hands on the throttles right now. But as soon as the rudder becomes effective, he'll let go of the throttles. The engineer will take them, and he'll call engineer set max power, and that's what's happening right now.
What a sound. I love the sound of those engines. It brings back so many great memories for me because right out of the T-38 out of pilot training, I came back to the guard unit to get checked out of C-121C Constellation, flying those same 4 engines. And we use the engineer the same way. And on approach to land, does the pilot give where the engineer has control of the engines from right now all the way from mission until final approach? And when does the pilot take the controls back, and does he give a command to the engineer to do that pilot's throttle?
Yes, actually, in the way we operate this airplane, the engineer actually operates the throttles to the ground, and the pilot takes control of the throttles basically when the airplane comes to taxi speed. You've got it, there's no nose wheel steering in the B-29, but later the Site 97 and the Constellation all have nose wheel steering. But the B-29 had no nose wheel steering, so you have to use differential power and differential brakes to guide the airplane.
So the pilot controls the throttles and taxiing the airplane.
That's correct. If you're smart, you just use 2 of them. But yeah, that's really the only time. That takes a little getting used to, for a single engine fighter pilot to give control of the motors to the flight engineer. That's a little bit of a culture change.
But it was a lot of fun, and qualified the civilian constellation that I flew for a couple of years. It was the same way. That engineer had 8,000 hours in that constellation, so we just let him keep the throttles all the way to the flare. He knew where the airplane was. He knew what was going on. Yeah, great. You cannot fly these airplanes without a qualified flight engineer. Now, do you use 2 engineers or 1?
No, we just have 1 engineer. Up until recently, we were able to fly the airplane with the engineer on a letter of authorization, but most recently the FAA has required us. We now have to have certified piston engine flight engineers, which has been a big deal. Is that accomplished?
Is that hard to find qualified people?
Well, we have to train them. We don't find them. There are people that we've grown up and qualified and certified and so forth.
Still takes you a while to do that.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to become an engineer than to fly the airplane.
I told people that one of the ways we qualified young pilots on the Constellation was they had to start an engine from the engineers panel. My. That sounded like a duck hunt going on. Okay, now we're coming in on final approach. What's going on in the cockpit?
Right now, the power's set. They're just enjoying the ride right now. Jeff's flying the airplane, I believe. He's got both hands on the yoke. And once you get to a B-29, well, let's listen. Once you get the airplane up above 160, 170 mile an hour, it's a lovely airplane to fly. It's got, for what it is, in the fact that there's no hydraulic boost, it has fairly light controls and really responsive. So going cross country, it stays where you put it. It's a glorious instrument platform. It's just rock solid and a joy to fly. Then it comes time to land.
And then it gets to be fun. The airplane in the flare is very effective in the flare. You feel ground effect in an airplane like that?
Yeah, that's not part of the problem with the B-29 is the pitch window between dragging the tail skid and hitting the nose gear is only about 4.5 or 5 degrees. So, I think the worst airplane in the airliners today would be the 75 800 or something. Has like a 7-degree window and everybody thinks that's tight. This airplane has less than 5 degrees pitch window to land it in. and then there's no nose. You know, you're looking through those windows that are way out in front of you, so it's a challenge to learn how to find that pitch winch.
I flew 747s also, and when you fly that down, you fly your glide slope, and everything's looking good. From the flare to touchdown is about a 1.5 degree pitch change, so you don't really make a pitch change. You pull the power off and let it land. Look at this. What a beautiful sound. Let's talk about how its handling qualities are with an engine out, with an outboard failed.
If there's only one out, it's really a non-event. The airplane has plenty of excess power and flies very nicely on 3 engines. With 2 out, there's no climb, and you have to maintain airspeed perfectly. If you get slow, the only way you can get it back is by pushing the nose down.
Minimum controllable speed at an average rate for landing and on 2 engines is up around 150, 160.
You'd be on final at 165, 170 until you had the runway made and close the other throttles. And then you're absolutely committed. You're going to land. I think right now, as you look at the airplane off against that rain shower over there, it's just beautiful. And what you have to appreciate is the amount of work that it takes to keep an airplane like this in the air. Done by a bunch of volunteers. The 12,000 members of the CAF support this airplane through our Living History Ride Experience program. And we've got 2 full-time mechanics, and pretty much everybody else is a volunteer, and that's just a remarkable challenge. You know, we've been operating this airplane basically since 1971 with a short hiatus when we put the new engines on it, but it's an incredible testament to our organization and the others that choose to operate airplanes.
Same thing here with the volunteers are what makes the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum a World War II weekend work.
Yeah, the amount of volunteers here just overwhelms every time I come here with the amount of people who come out and support this. And the reenactment community really adds to the richness of this event. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. You know, back to what we just saw there, one of the hardest things to do in the airshow business, if you ask any real airshow performer, they'll tell you, is a well-executed photo pass. You know, you have to be able to see when you're out there over that ridge out there, the line in the sky that the airplane's going to follow, and set it on that line and follow it. Jeff just did a beautiful job of landing and up on a wingtip for it.
He sure did, and he's also was looking down over the nose at the ground to see those points, get those vantage points that we need. Fly the markers picking up in order to keep it legal and keep it legally away from the crowd as he comes by in those photo passes. Sometimes they're very hard to see those markers, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be that. But the real key is to be able to execute the photo pass. And what I said, there would never be a wiggle in the smoke.
Oh, that's good.
You know, if you set the line and you put the airplane on the line and it just glides through, and that's what makes a really beautiful photo pass. And I think we're going to see another one right here.
Those corner markers beautifully. Yeah, I think what you're saying is sometimes people will get it on its side, but then they have to pull or push in order to keep it on the track that they're looking for, and it just doesn't look elegant like this did. This was no changes all the way around, looking very nice.
Going to get turned around there before he gets wet, hopefully.
I think so. I think you might be getting the airplane washed about this point. But does he have radar on board? You have weather radar?
Just XM. We have a downlink radar that on the XM satellite. We today in small airplanes and in the B-29 we receive a NexRad picture off the XM satellite. And, you know, when I was growing up flying freight in these kind of airplanes, we had Mark I eyeballs. And it was terrifying at night. You know, the thing we used to say is at night you go for the dark spots, and the daytime you go for the light spots.
I've heard that before, and that's so true. That's so true. And I think he's going to be making one more pass down the runway.
This will be the last pass. This is a break to land.
Break to land. Very good. We're going to be watching and listening as they come overhead. Now, will he perform an overhead type of break to the right?
I'm saying we'll get a right break, probably, some sort of a break to a landing. And the purpose of that was to dissipate energy. I think what you need to think about as you watch this airplane go by, and we'll watch it and we'll talk as he's landing. In 1935, the airliner of the day was a Ford Tri-Motor that went 90 miles an hour, made out of corrugated tin and barely had heat. And 10 years later, in 1945, we have an airplane like this that became the KC-97, which was a transcontinental, pressurized 300-mile-an-hour airline. And that's a testament to what we can do as a country when everybody is working together and all going in the same direction. And that's why we do this, is to keep the stories of World War II alive. There's a lot of great life lessons. And teach our young people what we could do when we were really under pressure. Because the time will come and we'll have to do it again. And as you watch the beauty and the complexity and the engineering, amazing engineering of this airplane, it's a true testament to that American productivity and engineering. And we really need to remember that. You know, in World War II, the shoe factories made army boots, and the clothing factories made flight suits, and the car factories made Jeeps. And today, none of those things are made here. And we need to think about that and remember, because those lessons, it's trite, but it's true. The lessons that we forget will be doomed to relearn at a terrible cost.
Terrible cost.
And this airplane, as you look at it, is really the epitome of engineering and American talent in World War II, and it represents everything we stand for. And that's why the thousands of volunteers in the CAF and the Mid-America Air Museum, all these other organizations represented here do this. We stand out here on the hot tar all weekend and the high temperature, because we love and believe what these airplanes did and stand for, and the lessons that they represent for our young people today.
And so well engineered and designed. 4 different factories, totally different factories making these airplanes.
Yeah, now the fun comes. The B-25 is a wonderful airplane until it becomes time to land. And when that happens, there's a lot going on. Right now, the airplane's slowing through about 140 miles an hour for a 130 approach speed. And here pretty quick, if you start moving around the ailerons, the wing won't come up anymore. It will go backwards and in the opposite direction. So here it takes anticipation and stability, and he's got it dialed in. The airplane's pointed straight down the runway. And right now he's calling ease them off, and the flight engineer will close the throttles, and there's that very narrow pitch window that it takes to set it on the tires without getting the tail, and you'll hear that sound, and that's the landing. And then you wait, and you've got to start filling the brake chambers up with fluid. If you do it too quick, you'll flat spot the tires, and that costs $10,000 every time you do it. So that's a really bad deal.
Tell me again this technique for braking.
Well, the brake chambers are very big, and the brake valves were not understood nearly as well as they are today. And so when you push on the brake pedal, it's really just a regulator. And so when you push a little bit, you just barely crack it, but you've got to fill this big brake chamber full of oil before the brake engages. And if you let off the brake, it dumps it all over, and you have to start over again. But if you put too much in there, the airplane will lurch one way or the other, and then you got to catch it on the other side.
Worst case, as you said, you flat spot a tire, and there goes next to accelerator.